Okay, let us now look at sample exam questions. Some sample exam questions. We have the question which is question number 1. Question number 1, these are questions which comes in paper 1. So the question is, let me write as my solution there. It says we solve the equation 2x minus 5. Okay, this is question number 1. Then another bracket, we have x plus 3, which is equal to 0. Normally, such kind of question, you find that by the end of, in paper 1, this is in paper 1, and the variable we are looking or we are solving here is the value of x. So you find that by the end of the question, there is a space or a line, a blank space where you're supposed to put the answer. So you find that the space will be like this: x is equals to 0 or something. Then they put the marks there as 2 marks. So once you find the values of x, you put your answers where there is a space, where the space has been provided. So what do we do? What do we do now? The first step is that it's just to equate, because everything is equal to 0. So we are going to have 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. What is 2x minus 5? It is not possible to find the answer, but we just group like terms together. The 5 will come to this side, so we're going to have 0 plus 5. Or we have x is equal to 0 minus 3. So we are going to have 2x is equal to 5 over 2, and also to the other side over 2. So we are going to have x is equal to 5 over 2. That is the value of x. Where do you put it? You put it there by saying x is equal to 5 over 2. You put it like that. Or you put it in a whole number where you say 2 into 5, it goes to the remainder 1 over 2. It will still mean the same thing. Or if you just write it like that, your answer will still be marked, or you are going to be awarded the same mark. This one we are done. Let us now come to this one here. So this one is x minus 3. X is equal to 0 minus 3. So this will mean that x is equal to, the x will be equal to, will be negative 3. So this is the value of x. So you write your value of x there, which is negative 3. So these two answers are the values of x. Those of you may want to prove, you can prove it, but you just waste your time. But when you are learning like this, we can still prove it. How do we prove it? We prove by substituting. Let's substitute where there's x, we put 5 over 2. If I put 5 over 2 here, meaning it will be 2 times 5 over 2, the answer will just be 5. Because 2 into 2, 1, 2 into the other 2, which is the denominator, it will be 1. So it will be 5 minus 5, the answer will be 0. So we are going to have 0 multiplied by, where there's x here, we'll put 5 over 2, then plus 3. Whether you find the answer of 5 over 2 plus 3, but as long as there's times 0, the answer will be 0. So meaning it has been approved. It has been proved to say the answer is correct. If you put negative 3, if you put negative 3 here, you're going to have negative 6 minus 5. The answer will be negative 11. Then, if you put negative 3 here, we are going to have 0. So negative 11 times 0, the answer will be 0. So this is what we are going to have. This is what we are going to have. Let us go to question number 2. Question number 2 is x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. Remember, this one is also a quadratic equation. Why is it a quadratic equation? Because the highest degree for x is 2. So if the highest degree for x is 2, this means that even our answers, we have to find the two values of x. So such kind of a question, it is different from the first one. So this one, you are going to say, you are going to factorize. Which one is common there? The common value is x. So I'm going to remain with x inside, because x into x squared will remain with 1x. So it will be minus 2, which is equal to 0. Why minus 2? Because x into 2x, you just remain with 2, which is negative 2. So when we reach here now, we are going to equate by saying x is equal to 0. This x is equal to this 0. Or x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x minus 2, it will be now x is equal to 0 plus 2. And our final answer will be 2. So as usual, at the answer space there, it is written x is equal to, we are going to put 0, or x is equal to 2. And you are going to be awarded with the 2 mark allocated to that question. We go now to the next question, which is question number 3. Question number 3. So this question here, remember we had an example from our previous video. Is it previous? It could be that other video. We had such kind of question. So in this case, when you are solving this one, you have to make sure that it is in a form of this. Plus b plus c is equal to 0. In other way around, this constant number, it has to go to the left-hand side. So what am I trying to say? Our next equation, it will be x squared minus 7x minus 8 is equal to 0. So for the sake of time, you use the product sum and factor. I don't know which one is okay for you, but I would advise you to use either way, but don't use the completing the square method, because it is involving. Anyway, it depends with the one you the formula or the method you are comfortable with. But I can advise you here to use the formula method, because normally such kind of questions, even if it has come in paper 1, the root, when you reach at the point where you have the square root of whatever you find there, which is discriminant, the root there, it will always be a perfect number. It could be 4, it could be 1, it could be 9, it could be 6, it could be 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, or 100 continuous. That is, so you're going to find the exact square root of that. So this is what we have. So let me use the product rule or the factorization method. So my product here, it will be negative 8, because there's 1. The value of A is 1. The value of C, which is the constant, it is negative 8. So this is the answer. Then the sum is negative 7. My factors, 2 numbers. If I multiply them, I get this. But if I add them, I get negative 7. So the answer is negative 8, negative 8 and positive 1. If I add the 2, I'll get negative 7. But if I multiply the 2, I'll get a negative 8. So now, once I reach this stage now, I'll replace where there is 7 there. I will replace it with these 2 numbers. So I will have x squared minus 8x plus 1x minus 8 is equal to 0. I'll factorize this one separately. I'll have x minus 8 like this Then plus, which is the common factor there, it's 1, because 1 can go into x, it will go x. 1 into 8, it will go 8. So it will be equal to 0. So I have x plus 1, and the other one will be x minus 8. And the final answer will be 0. So therefore now we are going to say x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 8 is equal to 0. So we are going to have x is equal to 0 minus 1, x is equal to negative 1. Or x is equal to 0 plus 8, and finally x is equal to 8. So therefore the values of x are negative 1 or 8. These are the values of x. As usual, x is equal to dash or dash. So you write negative 1 there, and there you write 8. You write 8. So this is what we have. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 4. No, question number 4, you do it. Question number 4, it has already been arranged, just a matter of finding the product sum and the factors, or you use the quadratic method, the formula method, sorry, which is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac. So let us now look at question number 5, question number 6, question number 7 in our next video. Thank you so much.